Now in the field of 68, we're going to be diving into what I think is the most interesting game on the college basketball slate on Saturday as the Virginia Cavaliers head on the road to take on the new number one of the AP poll and the new number one on KenPom, Duke Blue Devils. What's crazy about this matchup is we talked about this a little bit on the ACC Insider podcast, Jeff, and that's Virginia is 25-3.
Yeah.
They are number 11 in the country, and they are a game out of first place in the ACC regular season standings. And it feels like we never are talking about them, ever.
I blame it on you. Honestly, I blame it on you.
Probably.
Yeah, I just blame everything on you. So why not blame this on you too? But I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, I guess they haven't had the big mammoth top 10 win. I think that's it. Like if they'd had that, I think
Mhm.
we'd be talking about them differently. We'd be looking at them differently. So, Ryan Odom's done an incredible job, first of all, in year one. He's done a good job everywhere he's been. I mean, think about that. He's been at three stops and he's won at a high level at all three. Now he's kind of back home in a sense in Charlottesville and is playing fast. So they're fun to watch. They've got, one of the best international players that came over. A lot of these international kids came over and some were good, some were not so great. But Testa Ritter has been everything that Ryan Odom thought he'd be and more. But again, here's your opportunity. You go to Cameron, and I'm not, again, I know you're going to push back on this. Not even sure you have to win this game if you're Virginia. Not. I think you play with Duke. Play with Duke to the final couple possessions. And you know what? To me, I think a lot of people are going to look at Virginia completely different if they're in this game at Cameron with a minute to go. I think people are going to, you have to. You would have to then say, hey, you know what? This is a team we got to think about when we're looking at our bracket, talking about being a not just a second weekend team, but maybe a team that can make a run to the Elite Eight, maybe even the Final Four. That sleeper team. That's what Virginia has a chance to be right here. The sleeper Final Four team if they play Duke tough, but they don't come up with a win.
Yeah, I think it's more because my take is that most people that are kind of in this business and in this industry know what Virginia is, and maybe they haven't been like the forefront of the conversation and the talking points because of the fact they don't have that like big marquee win. But we all know how good they are. But you mean just kind of like having the public at large, all the people that swoop in at this time of
No,
year.
no, I mean us. No, I mean us. I don't think anybody's all in on Virginia. And now, again, I think right now, you're looking at Virginia. Most people are looking at them as a four seed, and most people are going to pick them as a, honestly, I think a lot of people are going to pick them as like the upset team, the team to get upset in the first round of the tournament. I think they're going to be that right now. I think they have a chance to completely change that with how they play against Duke at Cameron.
Maybe,
I'm not
maybe.
I'm not convincing you. I'm not doing a good enough job.
I just think if they play it close at Cameron, like people, they're 25-3. They're number 11 in the country. Everyone knows how good they are, and I
No,
don't
I
think.
disagree. I disagree. I don't know how good they are. I know they're good, but what I'll say is they have a chance to jump in the like that second tier. Nobody's got them in the second tier right now. Nobody's got them. Don't even tell me anybody's got them in the second tier of teams that could be a real Final Four team. Nobody. Nobody's thinking they could be a Final Four team. You're wrong.
That's that. First of all, that's not true. Both two people on the show last night said Virginia could be a Final Four team.
Who?
Me and Tio both said that
Yeah, but
Virginia could
you've
be a
said
Final.
like 42 teams could be Final Four teams. It doesn't
Yes,
count.
it's true. There's a lot of teams that
Doesn't
could be
count.
Final Four teams. I'm not. I wouldn't have them in my top four, but um, I just don't. I don't think that play. I don't think a moral victory gets them there.
I do.
If they beat Duke, it's a different conversation. Maybe if they lose on a buzzer beater when they're winning, but Cam Boozer hits a 35 footer to beat them, like
What do we
maybe
have
then I
Boozer?
just
What do we have Boozer taking 35 footers anyway? First of all,
he could take a 35 footer.
okay,
He could.
okay.
Um, Fascinating matchup in this one is going to be Boozer against Testa Ritter because they're two like they're kind of similar in what they do. Like they're not super athletic, they're physical, they know how to play, they're really good on the glass. They do most of their damage below the rim. So that'll be a really interesting matchup between the two of them. The other part of it is so much of what Duke does and so much of where their damage happens is kind of in and around the paint. Um, and the Who's are the best shot blocking team in college basketball with your boy Ugana and Yenso and Grunlow, and they just got so much size in and around the paint and shot blocking that that's going to be an interesting part of this matchup. The crazy thing to me, Goodman, is this is how good Duke is right now. Virginia is the number 11 team in the country, and they are getting 10 points according to KenPom. We don't have the official BetMGM line yet, but they're getting 10 points according to KenPom at Cameron Indoor Stadium, which feels like a lot of points between two teams that play a relatively slow style and are really good defensively.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I would agree. That's a lot of points, and that shows you the lack of respect. Other than I guess you and To, I guess you and To are the only ones that have any respect for the Virginia Cavaliers at
It's
this
not
point.
how is it how is a KenPom projection a lack of respect? It's
KenPom,
literally just
everybody,
numbers.
because you love KenPom, you love Kenny Pom Poms.
Well, do you okay? Look, you're the analytics guy now, so you're the expert. So you do understand, right? You do understand that this is not just Ken Palm going in there and typing in. This is what you did.
Hey, yeah.
Did you really? So that breaking news: Jeff Goodman thinks the Ken Palm projection is Ken going in and saying, "I think that Duke is going to win this game 75-65."
I think Ken, I think Ken hits a few buttons, can manipulate a few things, and change the entire thing.
You should start
If he
calling
doesn't
him.
like it, if Ken Palm doesn't like it, you don't think he can change it?
How, with how many people rely on it, he has the opportunity at some point to do something really funny
Oh, you
where
think?
like he just like uploads something different and like we wake up tomorrow and it's like Duke is the 23rd team on KenPom. Be like, yeah, I tweaked my formula a little bit.
No, I think this is again, this is one that I worry that Duke can kind of. Virginia hasn't. Again, they just haven't played a team like Duke all year.
Hmm.
So I think this is one where you go in, you play a team. The only thing they can hope for is that Duke's still kind of, you know, and this is not Cam Boozer. This is not the type of player he is, person he is. But the hope is that they could be just still riding high off last weekend's win over Michigan and DC, and maybe. But I can't even say it because there's no way it happens. Like Duke's going to win this game. I think they're going to win this game by somewhere in that double figure range, because frankly, Duke's getting a lot better here as we're watching them the last few weeks of the season. This Duke team is getting a lot better, and that's scary for everybody else because now they've moved into that tier with Michigan, with Arizona, because they get more contributions from other guys other than Cam Boozer.
Yep. Give me your projection here. What do you think it is?
My prediction, all of it is the Duke Blue Devils winning here by again, you know, whatever Ken Palm says they're going to win by.
You think they win by double figures?
Yeah, like 8-10, somewhere around there.
I would probably I'd probably lean towards if the line ends up being like 10 and a half,
Yeah.
I'd probably take Virginia here because I do think it's going to be I think it'll be a close game. I don't think Duke is when they're playing against teams of that caliber, they're so deliberate and they're so good defensively that I don't think that they're the kind of team that's just going to go out and beat Virginia by like 22. So I'd probably lean towards the Virginia side if it's double figures, but I think Duke wins this game.
Agreed.
Field of 68 after dark, 11 o'clock, Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night on streaming on YouTube, streaming on X, and of course on Sirius XM channel 84.